Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is my new project. We ended up buying this last week, I think it was. It's a 25 Jeep Gladiator. And we've already done a few things to it. We ended up putting a tonneau cover on it. That's the Amazon special. We might do a separate video on that. And then we put these floor mats in here called Last Fit. See if I can get a little bit of light in here. Those are Amazon specials too, but they're supposed to be good. From the reviews I saw, I don't need to do a separate video on that because there's quite a few videos out already on that. And we got some accents coming for the controls in the middle. They'll go around those knobs there, and then they've got the little accents for the window controls and headlights. All that's supposed to be coming soon, so matter of fact, it's supposed to be coming today, but we got somewhere we got to go first. But the reason I'm doing the video is because of these. These are Amazon specials too. And I'm not sure exactly how to do the, or say the name. So I'm not even going to attempt to. I don't remember where it's written either. Anyway, I'll put it up on the screen what the name of them are. And the fact that they have a different name on Amazon, but they also go by that name there. Which I pronounce EYOUHZ. I've seen a couple of videos on the EYOUHZ steps, but not this particular one here, because it's actually got a different name when you look them up on Amazon. But I don't see anybody doing a video on how all this stuff actually works. These are the brackets. This is going to be your hardware. But I don't know exactly what's what yet. I haven't looked at the directions. But if you look at the Jeep, it's just really bare down here. Like a lot of other people have said, it just looks unfinished. So we're going to add those steps to it, or running boards, whatever you want to call them. Which I haven't really heard anybody saying you could actually use these for rock sliding, because to be honest with you, the brackets don't look like they could handle any weight. So these are basically just steps. If I had to say anything, that's what I would say. That's my opinion anyway. I wouldn't try to go do no rock crawling with them. But yeah, this is my new project. This is what I'm going to spend some time doing. Try to do some videos on it. They got all kinds of stuff you can do to them. I mean, the customization is endless on these things. I've seen so much already. But I also see my bank account going down because nothing's cheap. The truck itself ain't cheap. But it's a Sport S. You know, it's got the aluminum wheels, but it's got the regular road tires on it. And I don't know exactly what they would say as far as the warranty goes on doing a leveling kit. I'm assuming if you use a professional leveling kit, they probably wouldn't have an issue with it. But I've got to talk to them about it. I don't want to make no mistakes because the warranty is actually pretty good on this Jeep. I don't remember exactly. I want to say that the original warranty is like 36,000 miles or 3 years. It might be more. I don't remember. But we got an additional warranty on it for an additional 120,000 miles bumper to bumper. And JT's Dodge Land, they're doing a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. Don't know how they're doing it, but that's what we were told. So if anything happens on the powertrain on this vehicle, supposedly we can pay $100 to have it fixed. Like I said, I'm just going by what they told us. Not sure about that, and I'm not, don't quote me on it because I'm just repeating what I was told, but if it turns out that's not the case, then I don't want to be responsible for somebody going in there thinking they're going to get a Jeep with a 1 million mile warranty and then it don't come true. But anyway, I'm gonna get started on this thing. I'm not gonna film all of it, but I'm gonna film how the brackets go on, what hardware to use, and then of course I'm gonna show how it's mounted to the pinch well, which is pretty simple. There's holes there all the way down. So I'm assuming that's where they're gonna mount. Anyway, let me get started and we'll be back. Okay. To say that the instructions are pretty vague is being generous. There's not a whole lot to them. Y'all can pause that and look at it if you want to, but basically this is what they got. These 4 rubber caps are already in the ends of the running board. So I'm assuming those are replacements in case they get lost. But you're going to take these screws here, these are M8s, and that's what's going to attach this bracket here to the step right here. Of course, you're going to use washers and stuff like that. I'm just showing you. That's what's going to attach that part. And then these, the ones with the hex head, are going to mount this part of the bracket up to the bottom of the truck, which is right there. That's where that goes. Of course, I'm all out of focus. But y'all get my point. They don't give you a lot of good directions. I'm just trying to give y'all something to go with. But anyway, you got a bunch of washers, lock washers. These look like anti-slip nuts because they got that on the back of them. And then you got the bigger washers. I'm assuming that's for this part here because there's only 8 of them. There's only 8 of these. But the part that gets me is where this mounts to the pinch well. They are using these M6 screws. Focus, damn it. Yeah, those screws there. Well, really all that's going to do is keep it attached to the vehicle, and it's 8 screws across the whole length of that thing, so I'm assuming it's going to be strong enough. But they just sit right here, M6 screws, and then you got that mount underneath that bolt hole right there. But those M6 screws, even though there's 8 of them spread out evenly across it, that's what's going to be holding your body weight. I'm over 200 pounds. That's a little concerning to me. So I've got a bolt bin to my disposal. And even though I don't have any M8 carriage bolts, if these will fit in those holes, that's probably what I'm going to use. I mean, you know, a little extra security ain't going to hurt nothing. But, yeah, those M6 bolts, nuts and washers, is what's supposed to hold my fat ass up getting into that Jeep. And I just don't know about that. But we're going to stick them on real quick, and I'll come back and show y'all the finished product. I didn't want to make this a real long video because there's not a whole lot to it, because it's mainly just a bunch of bolts and nuts and washers. But I haven't seen any videos on exactly how these brackets work. And the instructions sure don't tell you exactly which nuts and bolts to use, but I mean, if you use a little common sense, there's 16 of these and only 8 of these. So you do the math. And then, of course, these are M6. They do tell you that. They use the M6 and then M8s. And the M8s are used, you know, to hold this bracket onto the running board. And then they use the M6 bolts to support it. I don't really understand that, but like I said, if I can squeeze an M7 or an M8 in these holes, I know you're going to be able to see them, and they're going to be silver looking, but those are too, so it don't really matter. But that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get a little bit bigger screw in there, because to me that just don't seem like it'd be very sturdy. If they'll fit, because that is a small hole right there. The other holes are actually pretty bigger, and I'm not drilling into my new Jeep to make one hole bigger. If I have to, I'll use an M6 here and then beef up the rest of it. Depends on what'll fit in that bracket. But anyway, let me get these things put on, and I'll come back and let y'all see them. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain a few things. Those Allen screws there are 5mm. That bolt there that goes up into the bottom of the frame is a 13mm. And then those bolts right there that come through the pinch weld, those are 10mm. And the way I did it, and the way I would suggest anybody do it, these bolts up under here, you want to tighten those first so it pulls everything up in place. Then you want to tighten your the bolts up in the pinch weld. And the pinch weld, you want to tighten those up next. And then you want to do these bolts with the Allen heads. You want to do those last, because you can actually, I don't know if it would focus, you can actually push those up as far as they go. And it helps hide that pinch weld a lot. Like the only place you can see it is at the front of the vehicle now, under that fender. So that's the way I would do it, or that's the way I did do it. And I would suggest to anybody that's trying to hide that pinch weld, which is one of the main reasons I bought steps in the first place, is to adjust them all the way up as far as you can go, because that's, I think, really the way they were intended to be done. But I guess you could drop them down if you had like a shorter person that needed the steps to be further down, to make it easier to get in and out of, but I think we'll be okay. And to be honest with you, I can get in the vehicle pretty easy like it is. But it turned out pretty good. Now I did use those 6mm carriage bolts, which is right there, for a couple of different reasons. One reason is they're saying these steps are rated for 300 pounds, so we're not even close to that. And I think those are stainless steel, so they're not going to rust. And the bolts I got over there in that bolt bin, over time will rust. So. But that's it. Well, not really. I want to drop this thing down and show you how it looks sitting on the ground, because it really makes a difference on that pinch wheel. Like it's not even visible anymore, which is what I was going for. Y'all might be doing something different, I don't know, but I'll be right back. All right, so here's a better look at it, a little bit lower to the ground. So this is the before, and this is the after. I think they look good, and they also serve a purpose. So, you know, two birds with one stone, all that good stuff. But I like them. They're metal. Got like a powder coat finish, which is kind of rough texture finish. They look good. Not sure how long they'll last, but for the price, you can't beat it. I'll put the price up here now. And they got other ones too, with different patterns in the steps. I think they got one, like right here, it's just got the old Army Jeep logo. But I think in one of them it says, underneath it says since 1941, which is when the Jeep Gladiator was actually introduced into the Army. So yeah, they got some pretty cool stuff for the price. You can't really go wrong. I mean, $200, I think, after taxes, like $202 maybe. I'll put the exact price up on the screen, but I don't think that's bad. I mean, you know, Amazon's got some pretty cheap stuff, but you know, a lot of people will tell you get what you pay for. So they look good now. Hopefully over time they'll hold up, but you'll never know until that time comes. But I'll come back and do a review on these steps after we've had them on the truck for a while and they've been through some weather and stuff. We'll see how they're holding up, and I'll come back and let y'all know. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. If you can, like and subscribe, and we'll try to get some more videos out.